Tonight we're going in depth with the Oklahoma Innocence Project. They've been fighting for wrongly convicted inmates for more than 10 years. While they have seen many successes, they say their battle is still far from over. They are still working to free innocent Oklahomans in prison, including some very high-profile cases like the one featured in a popular Netflix docuseries. Joining me unedited to talk about her work is Andrea Miller, the legal director for the Oklahoma Innocence Project. Joining me back on the program today is Andrea Miller from the Oklahoma Innocence Project. Thanks for coming back. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
For those who didn't see last time, what does the Oklahoma Innocence Project do?
So it's very simple. What we do is we work to help get people who are factually innocent of the crime they've been convicted of out of prison.
So one of your clients is Carl Fontenot, and I know a lot of people saw the Netflix series and even the book and things like that. What is the status of his case right now?
Well, so Carl's case was remanded from the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals back in 2021 for a new trial. It's been back in state court since June 2022 after the state's cert petition to the United States Supreme Court was denied. So he's been back for retrial since 2022. Currently, we are waiting for the Court of Criminal Appeals to rule on an appeal by the state because the trial court judge ruled that they could not bring in what everybody who's seen the Netflix series knows is what we say is a false confession unless they have additional evidence to show that it's reliable, and they have appealed that to the Court of Criminal Appeals. Is
he frustrated that it's taking this long? I mean, it seems like a lot of us watched that series when we were at home during the pandemic. Is he frustrated that what's his mood right now?
It's frustrating. It is, justice takes time, I suppose, even though we believe justice delayed is justice denied. But we're hopeful that we're going to get a resolution fairly soon from the Court of Criminal Appeals and be back in the trial court and then hopefully get a trial date set.
Would he face new charges and a new trial all over again?
It's the same charge, the same first-degree murder charge, but it would be for a retrial.
When you all get involved, you all usually find new stuff and things like that. Yes. Have you found new stuff, additional stuff on this case?
During the course of the litigation through state court and federal habeas, there was a lot of new evidence discovered that had previously not been disclosed to the defense. And so that has been turned over, which was part of the reason why the federal court granted Carl relief in the first place. In that information is additional information corroborating his defense and calling into question some other aspects of the case. So there is new information since he was tried.
Do you have a timeline as to when this could be resolved? Are you aiming for 2027 or as soon as possible?
We're aiming for 2025. We anticipate the Court of Criminal Appeals will rule any time now, and that will allow us to get back into the trial court and hopefully get a trial date set.
Does what you're doing with Carl impact the other defendant, like Tommy, I believe is his name?
Tommy Ward is his co-defendant. Tommy's case is still in federal court, and they are waiting for the federal court judge to rule on his petition. So he's in the same position Carl was in prior to the 10th Circuit ruling.
Are they linked together?
They are not. They are separated.
Okay.
So the two cases have proceeded completely independent of each other.
Let's say I don't know. I just tuned in, who is Carl Fontenot? Why is this a big deal?
Carl Fontenot was convicted of the 1983 abduction and killing of Denise Haraway in Ada, Oklahoma, and was tried once with his co-defendant, Tommy Ward. The Court of Criminal Appeals decided they should not have been tried together, so both cases were sent back. Prior to the reversal, her remains had actually not been found. They found the remains in a very different area than they anticipated because they'd been relying on statements that Carl and Tommy had made, which we've always maintained are not true statements. And so that changed the case quite a bit. Both of them were reconvicted, and ultimately Carl's second conviction was reversed. He ended up going from a death sentence to a life without parole, which is why he's here today, to be able to continue fighting this injustice. And thereafter was affirmed by the Court of Criminal Appeals, and it wasn't until the Oklahoma Innocence Project got involved back in 2012 through my predecessor, Tiffany Murphy, who represented Carl all through federal court, that anything else had been done on his case.
What's his mood like today? It's
Well,
sitting in there for so long.
He's very hopeful that we will get a trial date soon, and we're prepared to, once the Court of Criminal Appeals rules and we get back into the district court, we're prepared to move forward with a retrial if we can't convince the state to dismiss the case.
So I got to ask, Oklahoma Innocence Project, is this an innocent man here?
This is an innocent man.
Wow.
He is 100% an innocent man. He is one of the cases that was actually featured in John Grisham's The Innocent Man book prior to the Netflix Innocent Man. I mean, it's in the name.
What is a false confession, and is this practice even used? Let's say I'm interrogated. Can this be used against me?
That's a great question. So most people don't realize that sometimes the way an interrogation goes, not an interview, but an interrogation which is specifically designed to get you to make admissions, can be coercive, meaning that there are things in the course of the interrogation that could prompt you to say things that aren't true, or contaminated, where during the course of the interrogation you're provided details and then you repeat those details back as the interrogation continues, which both can cause a false confession. They can also produce a true confession, but in this case we believe they produced a false confession, which has been what the focus is of Carl's case in the Netflix series, the Innocent Man book. A lot of it is about the false confessions that both Tommy and Carl gave. And so we believe his was very much the product of coercion and contamination, which some of the evidence that has surfaced since his conviction bears out that he had been told some of the information through the course of the interrogation. But they're not that uncommon. I mean, they don't happen all the time, but it's one of the leading causes of wrongful convictions around the country. So it's something that we're always taking a look at if we see a claim that somebody is innocent and there is an admission or a confession that helped convict them. We take a close look at how those statements came about.
Let me ask you this, my final question. I'm running out of time. He's been behind bars so long. You say he's innocent. I imagine you've got therapy. He can't just go out there and just live life again. Carl's
in the same situation that all of our clients are in. The getting them out is often just the first step, because it is so hard, and the longer you're gone, the harder it is to reintegrate into the world. I mean, the world kind of passes you by. And so yes, there's a long road ahead in terms of, as is true with all of our exonerees, just getting reacquainted with the outside world, catching up with technology. You have mental health struggles, you've got physical health struggles. And so yeah, it's a long path.
Andrea, thank you so much. We'll be watching.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.